Hey, welcome back. Thanks for joining. Today I want to talk about the importance of setting up a productive, strong buyer-seller meeting. And this is a key milestone in the sale of any business. Now, we're at the point where the advertisement's gone out, the teaser ad's gone out, a buyer submitted an NDA, a non-disclosure agreement, financial statement, looked at some data, looked at the prospectus, is interested in the business on paper, and now he wants to check out the business physically and also meet the seller. So it's a key component of any sale, and the main and primary objective of the buyer-seller meeting is to build trust and rapport between the buyer and the seller, and to instill confidence in the buyer for the business and the seller for the buyer. All right, so it's an opportunity to answer some unfiltered questions about one another. It's an opportunity to discuss the reason for selling. Of course, the buyer's heard that from the broker, but now he gets to hear it directly from the seller and determine the seller's motivation for selling. The seller also gets to understand the reasons that the buyer is interested in the business. And in many instances, if there's a shared value system between the buyer and the seller, there's a bond that forms in this meeting that really makes for an effective negotiation that follows this important milestone. Another thing that will generally happen in the buyer-seller meeting is the determination of the fit of the business. And by that is, can the buyer mentally picture themselves owning this business? Okay? Very, very important that they do. It's a chance also to talk about the growth opportunities in the business, and the buyer can ask the seller, hey, what are the 2 or 3 or 5 things that you would implement if you were staying on in terms of growing the business? So it's not only a snapshot of the present assessment of the business, but also the future potential of the business. And this is where the seller can share his personal observations on what the business could be if certain growth initiatives are executed. Typically, it's an opportunity for the broker to coach the seller and the buyer prior to this meeting. So you want to make sure that you set yourselves up for a productive meeting, and by doing that, you want to publish an agenda ahead of time that will go something like introductions, tour of the business, and then we'll talk about the opportunities of the business, the strengths of the business, as well as the challenges and obstacles. And it's important to be transparent about some of those challenges, because if you're not, then you know that there's something that's being hidden. So that's basically it. It's a very, very important milestone. It's a simple milestone, but coming out of the buyer-seller meeting, 9 times out of 10, you'll get an offer on the business. And to the extent that that buyer-seller meeting was successful, it will set yourselves up for a great a negotiation and potentially the sale. Okay, so hope that helps. Again, buyer-seller meeting, really important. Take the time to set it up correctly, properly, and you'll find that you'll find yourself at the closing table real soon. All right? Thanks for joining another Business Broker 101 session. Have a great buyer-seller meeting. All right, talk to you. Bye-bye.